The webinar today is about the modernization of citizen request management. I've got with me today Christian Drimonakos, that's our solution specialist for our solution Civio. He's going to showcase the product. Today, what we'll go through is who's Gestisoft for those that ever met us. We're going to talk about Dynamics 365, Microsoft Dynamics 365 for cities. We'll do a quick demonstration of the solution. What's next in terms of roadmap, accessibility for the solution, and we'll do also a short demo for our second tool using Microsoft Copilot for AI to build knowledge-based article and to produce social media posts. Gestisoft, we are a digital transformation firm. We've been in the industry for the past 28 years. Back then, we were deploying DOS systems, so it's been a while. Now we've been focused for the past, I would say at least 15 years on Microsoft technologies. And we are a firm that deploys CRM, ERPs, and AI technologies. We've got over 110 consultants that are expert in different technologies, but we tend to do those type of implementation or consultant or across Canada. Our head office is in Montreal. We've got an office in Toronto as well, and we've been recognized for a lot. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I was seeing the chat. So we've been recognized to be a great place to work. One of our main focus, like I said, we're 100% focused on Microsoft. It's the only technology we deploy, and we invest a lot. Even internally, we've got a program that we buy stock from Microsoft for the employees. That's how much we love that solution. We try to really be human-based. We are SMB. We want to be near our customer, near our team. We want to keep our team as much as we can. So we've got, as an example, Christian and I has been with Gestisoft for the past 7 years. And it's really a huge focus for us is to keep our customer as long as we can. And it's the same thing with our team and our consultant. We've been for the past, I would say 8 years, we became really specialized on specific industries like professional association and municipalities as well. We develop different tools, different systems, and one of that we're going to present today's case management for citizen request. We are one of the only Microsoft firm in Canada that specializes in CRM and ERP. And starting this year, we've got a whole new department doing fully AI that's constantly investing in different R&D and to develop different tools using AI to our customers. And the last thing that's quite important for Gestisoft in our values is we want to have a good tenacity. We want to succeed in a project, but what it means is to be able to be on time on our project and on budget as well. And we're going to fight as much as we can to succeed on those. What happened in the past is for the past 10 years, we've been developing a citizen solution to communicate and to interact with citizens. We've developed them into multiple different sectors. One was with different cities like the city of Gatineau, city of Laval in Quebec, Terrebonne, Lévis, and many others. And we've been also working with professional association. So any citizen that want to request some information with professional association. And we've got also other functionalities for the association. And we've been also working in different public and government sector as well. Pretty much at Gestisoft, we build all our product, all our solution on Dynamics 365 or the Power Platform. The Power Platform is a tool called local no-code, giving us the ability to build high-end technologies using and leveraging all the investment from Microsoft, but at the same time developing a product that answer really specific requirements for municipalities and citizen requests. One of the things that we've done for the past 10 years is develop a solution called Civio. Civio is for citizen request management, and it's transforming more into citizen relationship management. And our goal is to have multiple different functionalities answering all the different requirements that cities might have with their citizen. It goes from citizen portal, but as well as a tool for customer requests to do different routing. We develop also knowledge-based articles, so to be able to have a full file of knowledge-based article. What we've developed with our customers is we've got with the solution over 250 knowledge-based article available that you can customize and transform. We've developed also an app for specialized agents. So there is the first app for case management, but there is the second app for a specialized agent like on the field or a different type of agents. They'll be able also to take care of the citizen requests and move from that. We've been developing a lot of Power BI and dashboard to help cities to have a better view of their contact centers and to know all the different requests to get at the 311 and the citizen requests, and to be having a more holistic view, and as well to be able to use that to improve their efficiencies. The last thing that we develop is multiple integration. A lot of cities have specific systems in place. One of the major one was Esri for geospatial integration for citizen requests, but we've been developing multiple integration as well. One of the major goals that we had building the solution for the past few years is improving citizen experience, reducing processing times for your teams, for your customer service agents, but as well for the specialized agents. Also, we wanted to increase the communication with citizens, so making sure that we transform into a more proactive communication with the citizen. So making sure when someone is doing a 311 request or a request on a website, that we're able to send back information to the citizen. One of the last thing we're going to talk later is we really invested to improve the cost of acquisition of the solution. Back then, it was a larger project, but we wanted it to become much more accessible and to give the possibility for smaller organizations, smaller cities to acquire those systems. Pretty much in terms of functionality, like I said before, we've got a citizen portal, we've got the geospatial integration knowledge-based article, we've got hundreds of intelligent routing rules that you can customize, adapt based on your requirements, and we've got that app for specialized agent as well. All that has been developed on Dynamics 365 using the Power Platform for the Power Portal. And it's also fully integrated within Outlook, Teams, and Power BI. One of the case studies we wanted to present today is the city of Lévis. It's a city of about 150 citizens. There's going to be a case study from Microsoft in the next few months. Pretty much the user system to implement we've been able to implement it on time and on budget with over 3,000 hours delivered within that project. We're fully using the whole system from Dynamics 365. So knowledge base, real-time workflow, geometrics integration, self-service, citizen portal, and much more. In the past, that solution has won multiple awards in Quebec. We've been in Quebec for a lot of years, and we started expanding our solution through other markets. But we've won the Microsoft Impact Award. We've won multiple awards, as an example, in the Réseau Informatique Municipalities, the MISA branch from Quebec. And it's been a solution recognized to really improve the efficiency of contact centers within cities. One example is the city of Laval told us it did improve about like 18% their treatment of citizen requests and to be much more effective with those amount of requests. the next step, we'll have a short talk from Christian that's going to showcase the solution, all the different functionalities.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Jake. I would just want to wish you all a welcome to this demo, and please feel free to ask any questions you may have during the demonstration, and we'll make sure to get back to you and answer any questions you may have. Jake explained, Civio is an accelerator. So basically, we don't have to build it from scratch. So when you take a project with us, we already have a starting point to work on. So what I'm going to show you today is basically what could be in your environment, and is all included in our Civio package. So let me just share my screen here. It's already, hold on, here we go. During my demo, I'm gonna give you guys 3 points of view. I'm gonna play the role of a citizen, Mark Messier. I'm gonna play the role of a 311 agent, which is the frontline agent, the agent that takes all incoming calls, that manages or coordinates any request that would require a specialized agent, so a second level agent. And we'll show you also the point of view of the specialized agent on how he can treat a request. So you can see the whole life cycle of a request from the moment the citizen create the request till the moment that the specialized agent received the request of the citizen, and how he handles it internally to bring it forward to the specialized agent so that they can do the intervention and solve the requests of the citizen. What you have right now at the screen, on screen, is the citizen portal. So citizens would have to be combined to your existing website. So it would not be a different website, it would simply be a different web page that would be linked to your website. And citizens could then log in so that it could be a single sign-on process. So if a citizen have already a Google Gmail account or a Outlook account, they're going to be able to use that single sign-on, or they can register regularly. And once they do that, they have access to create requests. They can access their account to update their information. They have access to different knowledge-based articles. We put a lot of attention and importance to knowledge-based articles because in this age of AI, this is basically what feeds your AI. So if you already have that in place, your AI will already be ready to work for you. But if you don't have any knowledge articles, that it needs to be built. But we will show you a bit later on how an agent, a Copilot agent, will be able to assist you on building those knowledge-based articles. Let's say here I'm going to play the role of, like I said, the citizen Mark Messier. So I have here, I want to create a new request, which is going to bring me to this page. And the request would be that my garbage wasn't taken off. So once we create the case, so if we come here, create a request, we already have predetermined request types that are based on our experience with different cities. So there's quick request types that could be created directly from here. So this is based on our experience with different cities. Those are the most frequently asked questions that the cities receive from their citizens. So they can, for our example, I'm going to say my garbage can, uncollected or improperly emptied garbage can, which will bring us to this screen. So upon this screen, the citizen can say if the problem is located at his address or if it's at a different location. For example, if you would have a pothole that you'd like to declare, of course, not necessarily in front of his house that the pothole will be located. So the citizen will be able to put in the proper location of the pothole. But for this case, it's for garbage can issues. And based on the service type request, there's automatic questions that are being populated. And this is something that our product team did that is very insightful and very easy to do. So if ever you as a city need to create different service type requests, you'll be able to manage which type of questions that needs to be answered. And the website for the request will be dynamic, meaning that it will adapt the type of question that needs to be answered so that the 311 agent can properly solve the issue for the citizen. So we have different questions that are already pre-filled. So it's a list that the citizen needs to answer and pick from. And they have suggestion of information to provide us. So if we want to make sure that the request will be properly handled, we already give type of questions that he needs also to give us as information so that we can solve the issue. we give the option to the citizen to subscribe to the newsletter, and he can also add pictures to his request, so that when the 311 agent opens up this request, he has all the information handy so that he can solve the issue. So upon this, all the citizen needs to do is send a request, and while it's processing, so as I just want to recall, right now we're on the portal point of view. So this is really on the citizen point of view. And I'm going to move on to the 311 agent point of view so that we can see how a request can be resolved. So while this is turning, I'm just going to switch from the 311 agent point of view. Just to show you, Civio comes with pre-built what we call model-driven apps. So it's basically apps designated for the role of a 311 agent, and we have an app that's designed for a specialized agent. So we have those two different point of views. But for now, I'm going to show you the point of view of a 311 agent.
And Christian, we've got a question as well. Can we connect with a third-party provider? As an example, the municipal garbage is connected by a third party. Yes, they could use, as an example, they could either use the specialized agent to have a secret way to access those requests, or we can even integrate with their own system to send the information and to send the requests their way.
Exactly. Great question. Phil, keep them coming. We like questions. And so right now I'm on the point of view of the 311 agent. Let's just refresh that to make sure that request was forwarded. Yeah, return to my account. So this, yeah.
And Christian, as an example, if a citizen fill out all the information, can it get routed automatically if all the information is filled, or do you need an agent to oversee all the case all the time?
Depending on the service request type that's identified, there's already a routing rule that exists that will allow the request to be forwarded to the proper team. But for certain situation, for example, if a citizen calls in or makes a request to know the opening hours of the library, then he'll be able to manage won't need to be rerouted. So whenever it's information types request, the 311 agent can do the full cycle of treating the request. So basically the answer to your question is yes. That's a good question also. Thank you, Fred. So I'm just going to hop in. So right now we can see Marc Messier. These are all the cases that needs to be processed by our 311 teams. I can see which ones are on schedule, which one are the time expected to answer the request is passed. So we have really an overview of all those cases. And what's exciting also, of course, request doesn't have to always come from the portal. Of course, a citizen can call you directly. If you have an inbox that's designated to citizen questions or citizen requests also, it's going to be linked to Civio, meaning that every emails that's going to be sent to you from that inbox will end up in what we call a queue, so that you know exactly which request needs to be solved and which one and what's their provenance. So is it a case that was opened from an email? Is it a case that comes from our portal? And we can easily see which agent is currently taking care of those different cases. So basically, as soon as the citizen sent us an email, it's going to automatically create a citizen request. And it's the same. And if the citizen calls you directly, then of course you'll need to build the citizen. I'm trying to find a profile. Yeah, sorry. And he's going to need to create the case, of course. So let me just.
And you can integrate with multiple different type of channel. You talked about emails, phone calls, portal. Mm-hmm. Can you do it with Facebook messengers?
Yes, they could have also an integration with Facebook. If Facebook is one of your main communication tools with your citizen, of course, they could, through a messenger, they could send messages to the 311 agents, depending on if it's a good idea or not, depending on the number of requests you may have. So yeah, of course, and this is, of course, we're not just integrators, we're also there to give you good business practices, and we're here to give you great advice on how to proceed with different request types that you may receive. All good here. So let's just jump in on our case that was a request I just created from Marc Messier. So I'm going to open this here. So the form that you see is the request form. Those are which is a case form. You can see the information from the get-go from the citizen. And you have different tabs for which you can put in more information. We can see if ever the citizen already contacted us in the past for different requests. So this is the one that's currently active. But if you had any history of cases that the citizen has created with you, it's going to show up here on this in this section. And you can have direct posting message approach. So if you want to just Facebook, so it's not a live chat conversation. It's really like a posting when we post on Facebook. We can post messages that will end up in the citizen portal. So if we need to create a new message, it's going to be we're able to do so here. Here it's where we treat the request. Like I mentioned early on, our product team created a dynamic form, meaning that depending on the service request type, so here's uncollected or improperly emptied garbage can, it's going to, the questions that are going to need to be answered will change. So if we ask, for example, there's a citizen that calls in for reporting a pothole, the type of questions that will need to be answered will dynamically change depending on the service request type. And this is one of the strengths of the tools, is that you don't need to be an administrator to do those changes. It could be done on the front end level as a super user. So of course, we would not give that access to the whole 311 team, but we can identify a person in the city that would have to have the ownership of being able to create those different service request types. And of course, depending on the title of the request, I have already knowledge articles here that are suggested to me. So I can choose from those knowledge-based articles. A fun fact here is when you do a project with us, it always comes in with 225 free design knowledge-based articles that you can adapt to your own reality. So these are all automatically, it can be added to your Civio application. But if you have already your own bank of knowledge-based articles, they can be imported and they will be there from the day one of your go live. They'll be available for your agents to use. And so you have here all the different knowledge articles that you have access that looks upon the title to suggest you the proper articles. And on top here is what we call a business process flow. So this is really a way to guide your 311 agents to know what type of information needs to be filled out so that I can move from the documentation stage to the development stage. So let's move that stage here. And knowing that this will require the intervention of a specialized agent, the queuing, the routing of the case will be automatically done from your own perspective. Of course, you'll be able to assign this case to a member of the residual material team. So you'll be able to assign it to the proper person that's from that team. So all you need to do afterwards is to assign the case. And I'm going to assign it to myself because I'm the only basically user in the application. And you will notice that the owner will change. So the owning team is residual material team, and it's been assigned to Cassandra Monica. So to me, that I'm a member of this team. So this is the end of the cycle of the 311 agent. So now at this stage, it means that this case was rerouted to a specialized agent. And the specialized agent will be able to manage this case that was assigned to him today. So for example, if I hop in the cases, so the cases that we see here are only the cases that have been assigned to the specialized agent. So upon arriving here, you'll be able to revise everything that was already filled out by the citizen and whatever information that might have been added to the 311 agent also. So here what you have is a GIS from Esri. You have a point of view of the city. In our case, it's the city of Waterloo. One thing here to know is, let's say that on my street, my garbage can wasn't picked up. It would be normal that the whole street would declare this situation. So one of the strengths of our solution is that the agent will be able to link all those cases and resolve those requests in one click, instead of having to go by and all the citizens that declare this situation, you won't have to do them one by one. You'll be able to merge them and solve the issue in one click. And you can, of course, move the pinpoint if ever a citizen calls in to specify the location of a pothole. You can really locate the proper location of where the pothole is located so that your specialized team know exactly where to go to resolve that issue. So on this point, once again, there's predefined communication that's done depending on where we're currently at on the life cycle of the resolution of the request, so that the citizen is always kept in the loop on the evolution of the request. So those communication are pre-filled, and based on the type of request, the agent basically won't have anything to do except to seeing if there's any additional information that would be required to be able to resolve the issue. If not, then we can move forward in the case resolution. And upon this, as we move forward, we'll jump back into Mark Messier portal so that you can see every communication that was sent out to him. And upon the closing stage there's also a communication that's sent out. And basically, this is how we can solve the request step by step. If I want to do an email communication, of course, you heard a lot about what we call a Copilot, which is the AI that's produced by Microsoft, that's owned by Microsoft. So let's say I'd like to create an email for that citizen. I'll be able to create this email without any problem with the help of an AI. So I'm going to create an email. Fun fact here is, of course, since Civio is from the Microsoft ecosystem, everything is integrated with Outlook, Microsoft Teams, SharePoint. So this is all included in our package when you take the Civio offer with us. So we all activate those integration. And since it's part of the Microsoft ecosystem, there's no special API connectors to be created. Everything is native to the solution, and it's really a budget saving thing for every users and every cities that we might need this solution. So upon creating an email, it's an activity that we call of email. We created something that allows you to protect your email address. So if you don't want to receive any direct communication from citizen, you can check this so that they won't be able to reply or see your personal email for which the communication was sent. We'll be able to solve an issue, and we can ask Copilot to draft us and resolve our issue even. So what Copilot will do is he will base his answer from the database of knowledge articles that we have pre-filled in Civio to manage and create an answer. Thank you for reaching out regarding your trash collection if you're complying with. So he gives us an answer, and we can also check the source. So we can see that from which article he based his answer on, and we can ask him to do certain adjustments. So if I wanted to make it longer, if I wanted to be more formal, I can ask him to do those modifications and those adaptations so that I can take that email and use it as a way to communicate with my citizen so easily. This is why we're putting so much emphasis on having a knowledge-based article built out, because this will give you the full power of the AI to work for you. And upon creating that email, I simply have to send the email, and the citizen will receive that communication in his inbox.
And Christian, we had a question about AI capabilities. I think there is multiple capabilities coming with Microsoft Copilot into customer service. It's a new technology. It's been launched for the past year. As an example, what's currently in public preview, there will be intent-based routing using AI. So to be able to do some part of the triage request with AI. There is also the ability from the AI agent based either on a call, based on a chat, to pre-fill the information within the case. There is going to be, like Christian showed, the ability to write emails, to write knowledge-based article, but also one that's going to be able to automate certain task in the life cycle of a case management, either sending some emails and so on. There is a lot of different functionality coming up. There is some currently within the systems, and we're gonna showcase what's gonna be coming within the solution quickly, what we're currently deploying in certain customers.
Exactly. And it's quickly evolving. And what's the interesting is that the module of customer service for Dynamics 365, which is where on what Civio is built on, is probably the module that has the most advanced features using the AI. So basically you'll be well in hand with the AI with Civio. And remember I talked about the Teams integration. The fun thing about that, so sometimes there's certain requests that might require the help from a different person from a different department. So the person that we need to communicate about this specific request, you can find and have a discussion so that the person's going to receive a message with the title of the request. Not so it won't be Christian Monacos that talks to Frédéric Charret, for example. It would be under the title of the request. And what any conversation, so every exchange you have between the 311 agent and the specialized agent will be kept in the activity feed so that if there's a different 311, if the citizen calls back and it's a different 311 agent that answers the call, you'll be able to keep track of what was discussed between the initial 311 agent and the specialized agent. So this is a really fun way to improve the internal communication and work more efficiently together in collaboration from different departments. So yeah, the person that's going to receive the case, this message is going to receive a pre-filled message like this, so that has already the necessary information to take care of the request, and you'll be able to have a link directly to the request so that you can visualize everything and make sure that everything is solved. So this is a nice feature. And like I said, there's an integration with SharePoint. So we create a dedicated SharePoint site. So if ever you have permit documents that the citizen needs to send to you for a renovation permit, for construction permit, you need to have, I don't know, engineering plans. It's going to be, you'll be able to link these documents to the request so that you don't need to, and it's going to remain there so that if ever for another year or two, the same citizen calls back for another expansion plan or a renovation plan, you'll have the history of every documents and you won't have to search for it. It's going to be exactly under the citizen SharePoint dossier documents. So those are all features. Other point that's very important for you to know for reporting purposes, you have access. There's like I said, there's the 311 agent has they have their own dashboard, so they can know exactly on what they need to work on as soon as the day starts. But there's also a point of view for the supervisor to see the number of cases that were created, the number of requests that were created by day, which team was the busiest during that period. You can really bring out a report based on a custom time frame. So if you want to see, for example, for the past, I'm going to exaggerate so we have more data, but since 2021, I want to see every case that was managed by the residual material team. I can see right now from that period of time, they had 23 cases. They still have 22 cases that are active at zero resolve. But bear in mind, this is a demo environment, so it's normal. There's a weird stats here, but you would have a real perfect picture of the occupancy of your team. And you can then bring out those reports on Excel so that if you want to have a discussion with this team on seeing how many cases they handled, it's going to remember the filters that was applied. As you saw, I click on residual material team. So all the following information is really targeted to that department team. And if I open my report here in Excel, it's going to show really only the 23 requests that were assigned to that department. So creating reports is really easy. So if at the end of the year you need to know, okay, how many requests we had throughout the whole year, how many were solved, how many are still at an open stage, you'll be able to easily bring out those reports without having to spend a whole week preparing those reports. It's going to be there in handy and quickly accessible.
Yeah, even Microsoft launched lately the ability to use AI to either filter different lists of cases with natural language. Before that, you had to select the different field and reason to classify the information. Now you can simply write I would like all the cases, closed cases in May, and they're gonna filter the information. And they've got also that AI capability to create charts and dashboards and information using Microsoft Copilot as well.
Exactly, Fred, exactly. And of course, what you see here is the sitemap. So whenever you're going to work in Dynamics 365 in Civio, those are the different sections for which you have access to. And you'll be able to, of course, so for example, if you do city council meetings and during the city council, there's questions that have been asked that needed an escalation maybe to be answered by somebody at a higher level. Well, you'll be able to keep track of those questions that was asked during the city council meeting. There's also, Fred mentioned, we also created an agent that would help cities that needs to build their structure of knowledge-based articles. We basically created an agent that will help you create those articles. So I'm just going to move. Is there any other question before I move to that stage? Is there any questions that needed that you guys had that, or something that you wanted to see that I could show you that would be important for you to see? If I don't have it.
Christian, before that you show the agent, what we could do is to present a roadmap and what's coming up with the platform, and at the end we can do the short demo of the agent as well.
Perfect.
And if you while during that time, if you have more question or you wanted to see something else from the platform, this way Christian will be able to prepare himself and to be able to showcase that part.
Most definitely.
What's next? One of the big point about Dynamics 365, what we've heard from the market during different events, meeting with cities, is the accessibility of the solution. And what I mean by accessibility is the cost of implementation, cost of services, and so on. And Christian and I, in the past, about 8 years ago, we wanted to build a solution that's really accessible for the smaller SMBs, smaller municipalities. And what we've done in the past was to try to implement Dynamics 365 customer service to smaller SMEs, and we've been able to develop accelerator and offers to be able to implement Dynamics customer service under $10,000. What it means, it was one of the first projects with Microsoft to be able to implement within a week the whole system of customer service. And for the past year, with our Civio solution director, with our Civio team, we had that question: what can we do to make sure that our whole platform become more accessible and to be able to decrease the total cost of ownership? And we put ourselves a goal to be able to implement the whole solution under $100,000 budget. And we've been able this year to start our first project to implement the solution in a smaller municipalities. It's the same product, it's the same solution. It's more the implementation approach is different. Instead of integrating everything out of the box and customizing a lot of the system, we try to train the cities to use the system out of the box, to respect the product as much as we can. And also we develop AI agents to be able to train you and train your user on how to use the systems. We've developed a full library of videos to self-train on the solution. And like Christian told, we're able to supply all the knowledge-based article. So this way you don't have to rewrite everything. You just need to customize those articles and adapt them to your own reality. And we're going to showcase how you can do that as well. For the routing and all the intelligent routing, we supply all those rules as well. So you don't need to build and to strategize on everything. You can use a simple list of, I think was a few hundred routing rules. So you're able to leverage that within the project. So right now we're working with 2 different cities for those smaller implementation, for this self-service, self-implementation. And our goal is to be able to bring Dynamics 365 to, yes, smaller municipalities, but as well if you are larger cities and you want to use that to do a proof of concept or to try to implement faster, we can leverage that solution as well in a more prescriptive way to do the implementation. For the evolution of our solution, there is a big part is new functionalities. As an example, we've been doing in the past in a different solution for membership management, online payments. Our goal is to bring that in within the citizen portal to be able to, as an example, for permits or different functionality, to be able to do online payments and to also fully integrate with the accounting software like Dynamics Business Central or other accounting software to generate those invoice and order and to have the tracking system within this Dynamics 365 as well. We wanted to add municipal appointment and scheduling using out-of-the-box functionality from Microsoft Booking. We want also to add standardized online forms to be able also to manage other type of requests. As an example, it could be for a dog middle, dog tag, or anything like that, to be able to create those non-311, non-citizen requests, but more different forms that you need to be able to create. So you'll be able to create them yourself and to configure them and create routing rules as well. There is a big part about doing permit management as well. We want to bring that within the system. Christian already talked about the elected officials. So there is a portal as well for the elected officials to be able to access cases. So as an example, if there is questions during council, so this way they be able to access the information and to review the information. We want to integrate also a larger marketing tool within the system to be able to do mass messages that are from emails, from SMS. So this way we'll be able, if there's any emergency, a flood, a roadworks, or municipal events, to be able to do those mass events, mass messages using the same platform. And we want to do also personalized notification. For AI, like I sent it in the QA, I don't know if you've got access. We're going to make sure to send that in your follow-up email as well. But there is a lot of new functionalities coming from Microsoft using Microsoft Copilot. There is Copilot Voice that's able to listen to the call and fill out the information within the case. There is a lot of different functionality for Copilot customer service, one for case management, routing, lifecycle tasks. There's a vision from Microsoft that Copilot agents got to be able to start managing a good part of those type of requests and to be able to fill out the information themselves. That's why we develop a full team doing AI R&D and using Microsoft investment, Microsoft solution to be able to bring those solutions much quicker for cities. We've been deploying also citizen conversation agents using the information from your website to be able to answer to citizen question 24/7. This way, instead of having a search bar or anything like that, it's AI agent that's able to answer the different question and to collect the information from your website. And our goal is to be able to integrate with the knowledge base article as well. Microsoft has launched this year also something called Contact Center. It's more an integrated view using live chat, using Messenger integration, using also SMS and WhatsApp, if it's something that interests you, to be able to have everything within one flux of case management, and that the agent can get that really holistic view of all those requests and manage those requests. We've been also investing a lot in terms of system integration. There's a lot of different systems in municipalities, and we want to be able to integrate with the most frequently used system and to be able to offer out-of-the-box integration. And we've got a small surprise with Christian at the end, is to do a demo of our AI agent for knowledge-based article generation and much more. So, Christian, if you want to present your screen.
For sure. Glad. Okay. So for our example today, last summer with my family at Niagara Falls, so I said, why not take that as a persona of a city to create an article to do our demo. So I'm I forgot to mention in Civio, there's a knowledge base articles that you can designate to be public knowledge articles, and you can also designate articles that are for internal use. So for your for internal procedure on how to assign a case, for example, to a different department, on how to proceed when a citizen calls in for because there's a pothole that was declared. So those type of articles, there's really two point of view of how you can see them. So we can put them public, which means would be available from directly to your citizens from the portal, and the internal knowledge base articles, which are more procedural articles on how to help your agents to be efficient in their work. So for this case, we're going to create a public article about how to report a pothole. So it's going to look into the different website that's been assigned, and he's going to be able to create the article, make sure that all the information are there to make it sure that the AI, whenever we ask him a question, is going to be able to find the correct information directly without suggesting us 10 or 12 different articles. So all the structure that we put in is really a way for optimize the efficiency of the AI. So basically created the article. So this is like a standard of article that can be used. And it's going to give us also where the information were dug from. So to make sure that the information doesn't come from an obscure website or a different Niagara Falls, but I think there's not a lot of Niagara Falls cities in the world, but it's going to make sure that the information that was provided is really from our city. If you don't have a website that has that information, we can inform the AI to inspire itself to create articles based from cities that has a similar size in population, and of course, yeah, go ahead, Frederic.
Yeah, and it refers to our database of 225 articles. So this way, even if you don't have any, most city is already content on their website, so you can set up different source of information, and it can even be a SharePoint folder. So if you have like word written knowledge base article, you can now put that within a SharePoint folder, and we can use that as source of information as well.
Exactly. And what's fun also is that whenever you create a prompt with your agent, it's going to also suggest you maybe other type of changes that could be done to the article. It's going to give you maybe a different suggestion. Right now, it's suggesting me, can you create an article about requesting garbage bin replacement? So it always gives us feedbacks on different type of actions that the AI can create. As mentioned, we can also create, if we want to use the AI to create social media posts. I did one a bit earlier on, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, here we go. So I asked them simply to write a social media post about 2025 summer camps. And it already gives like a perfect structure to make sure that the article is well referenced and it's easy to see. So it already has all the best practices on how to create those nice looking social media posts, so that you don't have to have all that knowledge to make sure that your posting that's been created by the AI is optimal, so for SEO reference or any other different cases. So this is just a glimpse of what can be done. And what is also interesting is that create an agent doesn't require you to know how to do JavaScripts, or you don't need to be an IT engineer to do it. It's really something that's easy to do. And it can be, of course, our mentality at Gestisoft, we don't want to make you totally dependent on us. We give you all the tools if you want to work more autonomously, we'll make sure to give you every knowledge and every tools needed so that you can do. But we'll always be there to back you up if you have any other questions.
So if you have more questions, there is only 5 minutes left this webinar. The only two things I've got to say is we're offering with Microsoft free workshops and free assessments, either from AI perspective using Copilot agents. There is a free workshop that we can offer, and the same thing that we're offering for citizen request management. And because you attended this webinar, we're also interested, if you loved your knowledge base article like AI agent, we want to select one city to offer configure it for free and to configure the AI agent for free to your assistance to that webinar. If you want to meet our team, there's my friend and Clara that's going to be present in multiple events coming up. We'll be at the CAMA conference annual general meeting. We'll be at the Federation of Canadian Municipality annual conference and trade show. And we are also at the 2025 MISA Ontario annual conference and trade show. So if you'd like to meet us in person, we'll be pleased to meet you. If there is any other question, anything you'd like to see about the solution, if you'd like to have more in-depth demo, one-on-one presentation, feel free to ask. We're always pleased to showcase the solution and what Gestisoft has been doing for the past 10 years with municipalities.
Yeah, so thank you so much for being here today, and hopefully this gave you guys some clearance and more ease of mind of knowing that there's an easy solution that could be implemented for your city.
Thank you. Don't hesitate if you have more questions later on to reach out to us. We'll be pleased to answer it. Have a good lunch, and thank you so much for participating.